Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Talking Point. Normally where we bring you guys into the studio, and we have. We've brought back Dave Jackson, who's representing you guys.
Long time no see.
For a mega video today. This is Football Daily's England 26-man squad. We're going to go through our whole list, have a bit of debate about a few players, Maddison, Harry Maguire, you name it. We're going to chat all about them. So it might be a long one. Get a cuppa, enjoy yourself.
Biscuits. It's going to get feisty.
Yes, so I'm joined by Dougie. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Ready to argue.
Good, I like it. David, how you doing? Welcome
Very
back.
good. I'm excited about the World Cup. I'm starting to get that fever. It's building in me.
Good.
Come on.
Good. Samuel, hello, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling, civilized today.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Civilization. Brilliant.
Certainly
All right.
does.
So, lads, let's kick off with goalkeepers. Now, 3 goalkeepers are what are normally taken. I doubt he's going to change from that. I don't really think we need to spend much time on this.
I think so.
Are we all in agreement? Pickford, Ramsdale, Pope?
Yes, sir.
Pickford starting, Ramsdale second?
Yeah, for me.
Pickford starting. Yeah,
Pickford
sorry.
starting,
Yeah.
Ramsdale second? Or you think Pope
I think Pope's still second for me.
You what?
Okay, doesn't really matter because he's not going to play, to be quite honest. Let's move on to the defence. That's 3 of our 26 done, 23 players left. Quick maths. Okay, so before this, we went through a few players who we kind of already have in our teams. Feels a bit. I don't want to waste time just going through them. So we've kind of picked Trent Alexander-Arnold, Connor Cody, Harry Maguire. So we might have a little mention of him. Dougie's not too sure on him. Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker.
If he's fit.
If he's fit. So let's start off with Dougie. You didn't like Harry Maguire there?
No, I don't really like the Harry Maguire inclusion. I think he will get picked. He's Southgate's guy. It's not the end of the world if he goes. I just think it's a massive risk to start him, given the amount of minutes he's played for Man United. He is not featured regularly for them. He was terrible last season. He's been dropped down to 4th choice. When he last played for England, he made 2 game-changing mistakes. Big mistakes. So that argument that he's always delivered for England, he hasn't in his most recent fixture. And I just think it's too big a risk to start him. So if you're not going to start him, is there any point in taking him when there's players in better form?
I do think there is an element to be said about morale and how the community feel they have. Like, that's one of the biggest things that Southgate has said about building this loyalty to players and building this morale in the changing rooms, because they are with each other for 30 days. They've got to like each other.
Yeah.
And apparently Maguire is a big part of that.
I'm sure he is. And Connor Cody, who we had down as a definite, is known as a great guy and seems like it. And, helps with squad morale, etc. But Harry Maguire, he's approaching 50-odd caps now.
But he definitely has to be in the squad. Like, he's one of Southgate's captains. I get your argument about, well, should he be starting? That's a different argument. But then who would you
But
take
is it
next
a
to
bit
Stones?
disrespectful just to bring him along as like a cheerleader?
No. But I think if I think the argument is whether he should be starting or not. He's still one of the best centre halves that we have. And
Sorry, I didn't think he was going to stop like that.
I'm now very polite.
Oh, sorry, carry
No,
on.
but I don't know. I'm trying to think who do you have a centre half would be.
Yeah.
Do you put Ben White in there potentially?
I would.
But I don't know. Like, literally, I'm looking at your list
We
now.
have other options to pick from. Obviously, we're probably going to pick an extra 8 players with the list that we've already made. I've kind of got them in bold. This is more for us to see rather than you guys at home. And I've put Harry Maguire down as a kind of a going. So we still have essentially 8 other positions to add to it. So we can add. Sam, is there any of the players that I've mentioned already? Are you again also not happy with Harry Maguire?
No, it's Maguire, but Trent as well. I think Trent is 50-50 for me at the moment. But I'm thinking that Southgate as well. He doesn't rate, man. He doesn't think that Trent works in his system. We've seen even recent, like the game that they had against Spurs, he still didn't look great. Like, those errors that he makes as a defender in a knockout competition, you just can't make them. And we have too many players that are in and around that space. So yeah, I think
it's the same point. We were talking about Harry Maguire. It's not whether or not he should be starting; it's whether or not he should be in the squad. And for me, he should definitely be in the squad. Trent.
Yeah, this is the squad. Less about the starting. So let's pick a few defenders. I'll name a few here that we also want to take along with this bunch. So Eric Dier is a name. Tyreek Mitchell, Reece James, Mark Gehi, Ben White, Tarkowski, Tomori. Those are the kind of headline ones at the moment.
Southgate is a big fan of Eric Dier, isn't he?
He is a big fan of Eric Dier. I personally originally had him as going, and a couple of you guys wanted to put him more in the question.
I think he will
Football
go.
Dailies.
Yeah, I think he definitely will go.
Okay, Eric Dier.
I would have Tomori over Dier.
you would take Tomori over
Me as
Dier.
well, but I think Eric Dier.
So, but it's not about what
Southgate,
South.
not
It's ours.
Southgate.
This is
Oh,
ours.
it's
This is
ours.
all ours. This is all ours. So if you would prefer
There's
to
no
take
points for
Tomori
getting it
over-
right, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's just stick Ben White in there now. Let's get him. Let's get.
I
him.
agree.
Let's
Okay,
let.
okay,
Wait,
Ben
so
White?
is Ben White not on that list? that
No,
you mentioned?
unbelievable.
No, Ben
No,
White
Ben
was more of a
White-
question. So Ben White definitely,
Ben White has to
definitely
go.
going in.
He has to go.
Okay. And then also we want to say as well Tomori
Yeah.
over Eric Dier.
I think in that pecking order, right now, you've got to have Ben White at the top of those three, then Tomori, then Eric Dier.
Eric Dier.
For sure, because Eric Dier, you say he's Southgate's man, but he wasn't included in the squad for a long, long time, up until recently. Has been performing poorly as well, made that massive mistake at the weekend. Probably quite poorly timed for him, unfortunately. Whereas Ben White has been one of the best defenders in the league this season, and Tomori, hasn't been as good as he was last year, but still won a league title with Milan last year. Got experience playing with Chelsea in that system as well. For me, way above Eric Dier.
Okay, so Tomori's going. Well done, mate. Congratulations. You're going to Qatar.
If we're doing it on form as well, Tarkowski's had a very good season.
He has.
Tarkowski has had a good
But for
season.
me, he wouldn't go.
He wouldn't go for you. Would he go for you? Would he go for you?
He wouldn't. Not
He wouldn't.
against these guys. I agree, though. The slight issue with this is we haven't thought about, Chilwell's now injured, unfortunately. Are we happy with Trippier being our backup left wing back?
So
It's not
currently-
ideal, as good as he is on the right.
Our current fullback options with the squad that we are taking in defence at the moment are Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Luke Shaw at left back, John Stones who can play right back, Kieran Trippier who can play right back,
And Ben White.
Kyle Walker who can play
Right
right
back
back
as well.
and Ben White who can play right back.
A lot of right backs
A
there.
lot of right backs there. We
But Walker
haven't
will play in
taken
the
time. Yep, Walker probably will play in the middle. And again, he's also might miss the first game or so. But
So I
much
feel that we
earlier
need
than Reece James.
a backup left back there.
Like a Mitchell.
So you have a Tyreek Mitchell there. We currently still have 6 more players we have to pick. We can kind of come back to it.
Yeah, let's come
if
back.
you want, depending on our midfield options.
I don't think we want to waste a pick with Mitchell. To be honest.
Okay.
Like
Do get
Jacko's
spoken.
like Jacko's point that you want to feel confident with them playing a role at some stage. I think it'd be a massive risk to
Okay.
Tyreek
And
Mitchell
as
in
you
a World
said,
Cup game.
Kieran Trippier as a backup left back actually isn't
bad.
that bad. And if he does play through at the back, we've got the option of using
Happy
other
days,
players
yeah.
there. Okay, into our midfield then, because this is where things get a little bit interesting and spicy. So we have 3 players that we're definitely taking: Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount, Declan Rice.
Yeah, agreed.
Now the other midfielders that I have written down here are James Ward-Prowse, Jordan Henderson, Calvin Phillips, Conor Gallagher, and James Maddison. Let's kick things off with James Maddison, Dougie, because are you taking him? It's been a couple of days now of James Maddison hatred from you.
Yeah. Well, it's not hatred. As I keep on saying, I really rate him as a player. If he makes the 26, fair play to him. My point is, I don't think it's a disaster if he doesn't go given the competition in those forward areas.
Completely
And I
agree.
I think it is.
And I just think I actually wouldn't have him classified as a midfielder, to be honest, because he's not going to play in that midfield too.
That's
He's
fine.
competing in the forward line.
For sure.
But would I rather Marcus Rashford goes or James Maddison? In England's system, given his England experience and performances for the past for England, Marcus Rashford, definitely over James Maddison for me. I just don't think it's that controversial. If he makes it, I'll be glad for him. But I just don't think it's worth getting so angry about it.
You
Go
know,
on, Sam.
you know what is, with the Maddison stuff, I feel like because it's so, everyone understands how well he's played at the moment. We're almost making like a conversation of it because we know how Southgate is, But realistically, a player that is on form the way he is should automatically be in that conversation. The fact that they have to ask him after every game that he gets a man of the match or 2 assists, do you think that you're going to be in the squad, this, that? Bro, it shouldn't even be a conversation because the reality is there's space for him to go. I'm not saying that he should be a
But
starter.
over who? Over who?
It shouldn't be over anyone.
But it has to be over someone.
Why though?
Because we've got a massive squad filled with so many good options, it's got to be at the expense of someone that has previously played well for England. Like a Foden, well, less so Foden, but he's played well for Man City over the last couple of years. Grealish was awesome at Euro 2020. Sterling got named in the team of the tournament. Saka, Rashford. The competition is massive.
But it's not an anomaly to take out a defender to put in a player like
That
Maddison.
point I can get with.
Because realistically, if we're looking at players that can come off the bench to give us an instant spark, we saw it in the Euros and the World Cup. We had Grealish to come off, and it just adds something different, bro. Like,
I agree.
And I think Maddison is. You can't see what he's doing week in, week out, and say that they shouldn't find room for him. If they don't find room for him, then it's just
Okay,
It's
they're
a
both on the bench, Maddison and Grealish. Who would you back to make an impact in an England game at a World Cup coming off the bench?
right now.
Yeah.
Maddison.
Really?
Yeah,
See, that's
right
where I
now.
just disagree.
Yeah, I
Having seen
completely agree
Grealish
with
do
you.
it at Euro 2020,
But
I think I've got more belief in Grealish doing it than the one cat wonder.
The conversation that you had about players and what they've done in the past, Maguire has been amazing over the years. Now, he's not been that great. When Grealish has played for England recently, he's had a few, but it's not been like spectacular. So if you're gonna,
I don't think you compare Maddison, Maguire and
you can't hold on.
Grealish.
To, my point is, you can't hold on to what they've done in the past when you can clearly see that they're performing so well at the moment. That's why players should get the opportunity to get into the team.
But the issue
Voice of the fans, Dave, what are you
the
saying?
issue we've got is it's not whether or not either of them two players would be in the starting 11, because they're not. It's like when we are losing a game and we've only got 10 minutes to try and save the game, which of them two players are going to bring? And for me, it would be Jack Grealish. Which I understand what you're saying. So if it was going to be who would start, so say we had a load of injuries, and who would you start over them two players? That's when I think form comes in more.
It's not even a start thing though. I think they're both quality players, but one is more informed than the other, and it would make more sense to play the player that is informed. That would, we've seen what he does. Like, it's just I just think that would be. It's not even a madness what you're saying. Grealish, he wouldn't have an impact, but I think Maddison.
We've slightly jumped ahead. We have slightly jumped ahead into. I guess Maddison is more of a forward than a midfielder. Out of the other four, then Ward-Prowse, Henderson, Phillips, Gallagher. Phillips coming back from an injury. How many taken in this midfield? You might not. We can kind of come back to it after we do the forwards and see who.
I think I would take Calvin Phillips.
You would take Calvin Phillips,
yeah.
England's Player of the Year as
Yeah,
well.
I'll take Calvin
Take Calvin Phillips.
Phillips, Henderson, and Phillips and
Phillips and Henderson. Experience of Henderson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I tend
against
to
that?
agree. I don't know whether Colin Gallagher's done enough at Chelsea this
fair
year,
enough.
and James Ward-Prowse has not been as good as last year either. And the experience of Henderson in particular, he's one of England's main men over the years. One of the most experienced there. I think Henderson would be coming off the bench maybe if things are getting nervy and you need to calm things down. If you're already ahead, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of those options really fill me with that much.
No worries. So I'll go through it again. We've taken Pickford, Ramsdale, Pope, Arnold, Cody, Maguire. I don't think anyone's ever called him Arnold. Maguire, Luke Shaw, Stones, Trippier, Walker, Ben White, Tomori, Bellingham, Mount, Rice, Henderson, Phillips. We have four more extras that you'll see the ones that we've picked for our forwards in a minute. So our forwards, we've gone for Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden, and Jack Grealish. Yeah. Now we have four more places. We don't have to use all four in this. We can go back as well and maybe take a Maddison if you'd prefer, or another defender if you prefer. So the ones that we've got question marks around: Tammy Abraham, Jared Bowen, Marcus Rashford, Callum Wilson, Calvert-Lewin, Ivan Toney, and Jadon Sancho.
Ooh.
So
not having Jadon Sancho.
Not having Jadon Sancho at all.
Unfortunately, not.
No, are you
I love Jadon
in agreement?
Sancho,
yeah, for me, Rashford and Ivan Toney.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that.
Okay.
Because for me, like Rashford is that special player that, like, he can do the special. You know what I mean? I'm obviously special twice, but like he can come on and actually change the game.
Sub, yeah.
And for me, Ivan Toney, he is that option B, like where if we need to flick that ball on and we him to hold it up to playing Kane or bring in players around him.
similar.
And also Ivan Toney, 100% penalty record. When have you ever said that about an England player? You know?
But it would be so England for him to come
on and miss.
So would you take it? How would you prefer out of those? Because really the strikers are your Wilson, Abraham, and Toney.
Yeah.
Are you going Toney number one as well?
I'm going Toney number one, but Wilson very close behind.
What, Tammy third?
Yeah, Tammy third. I don't think
I
he's
agree.
He's not
I
had a
don't
great
think he's
season this year, for sure.
He would have been in the conversation before, but I think like Tammy, I appreciate what he does as a player, but I think the other two just offer more. Like without just being in the 6-yard box scoring goals. Like Ivan Toney this year, I've seen a lot more from him than I've seen in previous.
The fact he's 5'10".
And Wilson as well, yeah. The only thing that's really shagging him is his injuries. Like if he wasn't injury prone, this wouldn't even be a conversation. I don't think.
How do you feel about Ivan Toney? Is he in your squad? Can we just put him in there straight away?
To just clarify quickly, if you'd asked me this a month ago, 2 months ago, I'd have Tammy Abraham, but I'm not taking him anymore because of his form for Roma.
It's
just not been good enough. But he was awesome last year, 27 goals, I think, won the UEFA Conference League. But at the moment, it's between Toney and Wilson for me for that backup striker role. I'd also take Rashford. And at the moment, I'm actually angling towards Callum Wilson, to be honest.
So a third forward. So you'll be taking striker-wise, Ivan Toney, Harry Kane.
It's a coin toss. I'd be happy with either Toney or Wilson. I'm not going to lose my head about either of them, but I just think Callum Wilson has maybe showed a little bit more consistency when he's been on the pitch this year.
Yeah.
I know it's easier because he's playing in a much better side as well. And Tony does have that penalty record. But if we're just bringing Tony along for penalties, I think that's a massive risk. Like in the Euros final, we put on Sancho and Rashford to practically take penalties, and they missed it in the final because they were coming on cold.
Yeah.
Tony, who hasn't won a cap yet, coming on to take a penalty, nervy.
Okay, so we've got 2 more places left. We've added to our forward line Rashford and Ivan Toney.
Wait, you were saying Callum Wilson.
I did say Wilson.
So you were saying Wilson, but you were kind of happy with
I'm happy
either.
with Tony.
Okay, we're happy with
2-1
Tony.
anyway, so
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and the fans got the vote. Okay, so we've got 2 left. I'm going to mention the names again who haven't been taken just yet, which we might want to add from defence to
So
midfield.
where are we unbalanced at the moment?
So we've still got... Again, our defence is Alexander-Arnold, Cody, Maguire, Shaw, Stones, Trippier, Walker, Ben White, Samora.
We've got 9 defenders. That's
We've got
quite
9
a lot, eh?
defenders.
I
That
think we're
is a lot.
sorted there.
Let's call it a
Especially because Ben White can play midfield if needed.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Our midfield is Bellingham, Mount,
Like propaganda.
Rice,
Mad.
Henderson, Phillips. Our forward line is Kane, Saka, Sterling, Foden, Grealish, Rashford, Tony. Now, in terms of the big names that aren't going, no Reece James, no Dier, no Ward-Prowse, no Maddison, no Abraham, no Bowen, no Wilson. So, and we have 2 left. So one of those can go.
I'm taking.
Please, sir.
Go on, sir.
Can I just say that obviously in this scenario, I'm not making a point of it. Obviously, James Maddison should go over the players I think we just mentioned.
Okay.
Like, when you
This
see...
is our squad.
Yeah, when you see the... If we are not packing the defence, which Southgate
likes to do.
Southgate will probably do that, but if they're being logical like we are, which I think we're being quite logical
Yep.
and quite fair, there is space for Maddison.
Yeah.
He deserves to go on form. I'm not being stubborn. Like, he should go over Ward-Prowse.
Maddis is going.
He's on the plane.
You're going, Maddis. Okay, so there's 1 left.
So I think we go extra striker.
I agree.
Callum Wilson is going, not Reece James.
On the
Because he's
James
so
point,
quick as well, and I think that's the thing as well. He's not just like the same striker as Kane.
Yeah.
Like he can stretch. Like, you know,
But
he's a good.
not even trying to be deep yet, but Wilson can genuinely come on 10 minutes, get injured, bro, and then he's just back home.
Okay.
we got Trent.
Callum Wilson is going. I'm not going to go through the full list again. It will be coming up down below. But that is Football Daily's 26-man England squad. We've done it. A lot of debating. Once we've done it, it kind of feels like it was easy enough. And we're not really
that
missing
is a good squad.
any big ones.
Southgate needs to watch this video. He needs to take some motivation.
Final point. Let us know, guys. Are we a little bit light in midfield? Is my
Yes.
one worry.
Well, we're currently taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 midfielders, along with Maddison, who can
Calvin
also
Phillips
play
on
in
one
there.
leg, but-
Ben White, who can also go in there. Yeah, Calvin Phillips on one leg. Very
Feel
true.
like Foden can fill in there.
Phil Foden
potentially.
can potentially. I mean, the fact that we're already thinking
Mason
about players that could
could as
fill
well.
into a position is maybe not a good sign. But anyway, that is Football Daily 26-man squad. Please let me know what you guys thought of it down below. This has been Dave Jackson, your
very much.
Football Daily
Remontada.
counterpart. Yeah, sure, why not? But if
back,
you
baby.
guys want to be in Dave Jackson's seat next week, maybe we'll get you in one day. That could be a new
Be sitting in
development.
the hot seat.
Will we pay for their trains? Probably not.
Depends if they're in the London area.
Well, there you go. You've
I'll
heard
take
it
you
here.
for lunch.
You've heard it here first, lads. Get in the comments below. Make sure you're into our Discord. You're following us on social media. You're subscribed to Football Daily, and you've liked this video. And we'll see you next week.